Okay, sort of an unexpected video early on. I had to change my shirt to get something that I can handle. I'm already being dyed blue, so I apologize. This isn't a real unboxing, but when I first opened the bag and, you know, the big heavy bag full of the extra, I was all kind of like excited. And then 2 seconds later, I realized they sent me the wrong pair. See if I can cover over here. So I had ordered one in the 16 ounce so I could compare two different fabrics. I thought I'll have to double check my email before I call them. I doubt they're open tomorrow. But part of the reason I didn't order from these people before was because they have like a no returns policy. They do an exchange only. So if you hate the product, they don't care. Put them on eBay, I guess, and sell them for a loss, whatever. But since I had already bought the Unbranded, I kind of knew what to sort of expect, and I was just mostly worried about the fit rather than the fabric and all that kind of thing. So to recap, for those of you who haven't watched episode 83 or 84 from whenever that was, 2-3 years ago, 2023, so almost 3 years ago, not quite to the day. So anyway, so they came wrapped in this. The exterior of the bag was completely covered in black gunk, which I thought initially was from the UPS truck, but might be from their warehouse. I don't know. These are still wet from where but this is from actually touching the actual jeans. This crap came off my hands when I rinsed my hands. This may never come off, and my knees are stained a little bit also. So that's what you get with raw denim, in case you don't know. Not always. Some is more than others. But anyway, so here's the cardboard wrapping. So one of these pairs I will most likely try to exchange for the other fabric, just because I don't necessarily need 3 pairs of 18-ounce denim. But I don't know how they're going to do in the wash. But since the one pair fits a little better than the other pair, then I know which one I'm probably keeping either way by default. So I'll probably throw those in the wash. So the other ones, again, to recap, for those of you who don't remember, the Unbranded, I have not taken these to the tailor yet. Hello, goodbye, whoever you are. I did add rivets to put on suspenders because the dimensions are not tall enough to cover me correctly, and they're way too wide still. I lost a bit of weight, and these were 42. So this time I went with a size 40 because, again, I didn't need a 3rd or 4th pair of trousers that were ginormous, but I figured I could return those. But it's also, they're ginormous because of where they sit on my actual body, because if I could pull them up to where I'm starting to get, you know, a little bit rounder, they would probably stay in place a little better with a belt without having to cinch them so tight. And it's a lot of bulky stuff to have around the waist cinched up with a belt, so suspenders seem to be the correct move. I can try to shrink these again a little bit with the dryer. Now, but these are the 15-ounce, and I never really liked the feel of them that much. They're kind of rough. So just kind of an unpleasant fabric compared to, you know, most other jeans. Kind of rough, a little itchy. It's like buying a pair of jeans that are almost made out of wool blend or something. And they're bell bottoms and too long, and I haven't bothered to get them hemmed yet. Again, I'll try and shrink them a little bit again first, because I did wear them a bit this winter into spring, but typically this dryer cuts out before it properly dries any heavier fabrics, but also certain lighter fabrics, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't necessarily try it with the time dry feature to see if I could just bake them and try and lose a little bit of inch in the waist and the length before I took them to a tailor. Because again, that's just even cuffed. It's just silly. The new ones are even longer than these ones, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those because, again, I got to try and see if I can do an exchange first before I try to get them altered. They do offer an alter service, but of course I didn't think I could return them if I altered them first, but I didn't realize that I can't return them anyway because once you buy them, you're stuck with a store credit or whatever the deal is. But the one pair... the one weight was supposed to be $10 cheaper. And on this card, yeah, I was charged $10 less. So maybe I deleted the wrong pair and I just don't remember. But I'm pretty sure I deleted the other pair and got sent the wrong ones. Either way, it doesn't matter. I'm going to try to probably exchange the pair that the waist is like huge. So again, the 18 ounce with these, I preferred overall. I mean, they're still not like perfect, but we're talking raw denim. You're going to get a coarse, rough, thick, heavy duty fabric and everything. But I had kind of put these aside and not been wearing them the way I'd been wearing those just to keep them good in case I needed heavy duty pants, which of course, doesn't happen as much as it used to. But I did also put the suspender buttons on these because it was the same thing. Once you buy them, you can't return them. This one I had accidentally put an extra button off to the side too far where it's not that good. So I ended up having to put a third one and waste an extra button. But I don't know if I still have any of these buttons lying around. I might still have some. So one of these pairs, maybe I'll put suspender buttons on it. I don't know. But this pair, again, this really shallow, I don't know who's built like that. That's not how I wear my pants. I like my pants to cover my body, certain portions of the anatomy that don't need to be accidentally hanging out ever, I guess, in polite society and whatnot. So I don't know if I can ever use these for work pants. Oh, I'm actually getting viewers for a change. Hello. Yeah, I have the chat off this one, though, because I'm just doing a quickie product review thing. So anyway, so the other... Okay, goodbye, whoever you were. So the other name... There was two colors, and they sent me the same color. So I don't know if there's any reason to show both pairs and dye myself even more. And maybe dye my shorts. But the one fit... is called the Strongman. And so I did get the two fits that I ordered. And the other fit is called the Samurai. No, True Straight. Sorry, the color is called Samurai. So it's this darker indigo experimental color instead of a more standard blue. Let me get that first pair back. Toss them across the room for no good reason. So this one is more close to a true Levi's indigo, which is what I thought I was ordering in one of these two pairs. But I was sent this almost black, kind of inky, what they call a samurai, which I think is a special short run, but don't hold me to that, limited edition kind of thing. I don't know. Half the stuff on the website was all sold out. So I was tempted to order the relaxed fit, and I'm glad I didn't, because if they're more relaxed than the True Straight, then even suspenders wouldn't keep them up. They'd be just falling all the way to the ground. So anyway, for me, like I said, as far as I can tell, this Strongman was the better fit. And actually, and you can see it's not that much taller necessarily of a waist, but just enough, I guess. Again, I didn't mind that part of the fit. Let me show it very accurately. Everything's backwards with this camera, so bear with me that it's awkward when I'm trying to show a thing and it's showing the opposite. But so they're not that, but yeah, there's like maybe an inch at the most. It's not that much, but just enough, it seems. But they still bunch a lot because they're 18-ounce pants again. So I'm trying to compare, you know, the fit of the 15 ounce with the fit of the 18 ounce. And of course, the characteristics of the fabric is different. So it's kind of like, not really working. And of course, these are 37 miles long. So I didn't roll them up yet because, again, I'm not sure which ones I'm going to try and return. And I'm not sure how much they'll shrink if I try to wash them, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm worried that the waist will then shrink too much. And then the pants that are too big would actually be more correct if they shrink that much. But I don't expect that much shrinkage. So again, I think I'm going to stick with these. And hopefully put the right ones. I'll have to try them on again and dye my legs some more before I actually wash them to make sure I'm washing the correct pair so that when I can do a follow-up in a couple days, give everybody a better assessment. So in the Stridewise video, they said this company had less, you know, creative kind of goofy offerings and more consistent offerings. Again, I can't speak to that because I only got 2 pairs of the exact same fabric, not what I was expecting. And they're both the same color and they're both the same weight. And the only thing that seems to be really different is the width of the waist. And they don't have any fancy stitching much on the buttocks here. So that's pretty boring. If you're used to, you know, a little bit of action there. They have this thick but not ridiculous thick leather thing that you can pass a belt through. I expect this would be a little more difficult to remove than the paper ones that come on the Levi's or whatever. They have a thing here. What does that say? Sales and service. Well, I should say sales final. Because that seems to be their MO. It has this ugly edge here that I guess is a trademark or something that maybe I'll take a black marker and just color over that. Because I don't know, you know, I don't use the coin pockets or watch pockets for anything either, but I hate stuff like this where it jumps out at you. That's annoying, especially on a darker pair of pants than the regular blue, where this would kind of blend in with the blue. Although I imagine when you wash it, maybe some of this will go there and darken that. The pocket bags look pretty decent. Standard kind of height and weight and all that. Maybe a little more shallow than some pants, but I don't like it when they're too deep because I don't like my keys hitting my knees or whatever. A bit of a tag there. What that says. Okay. American made 100. Can't tell what that says. Oh, I think it says Los Angeles. Some things deserve to be made in America. Okay, well, that might be true, but I'm still having issues if you send me the wrong ones. And I'm still having issues if you charge over $100 and I can't get different lengths. Like, seriously? Like, yeah. I don't know how much it's going to cost to get them altered because I have one tailor who does heavy duty stuff, but I'm still waiting to hear back from her for my last order from a month ago. And so I really don't want to deal with her ever again because it's freaking ridiculous. And I don't necessarily want to have to mail these back to get them altered. So I don't know. There's some other places I might look into. Yeah, so this says handcrafted Los Angeles on that rear tag. And again, the which pair was the one I was showing those? Yeah. So yeah, so like I said, I can show. Okay, so this is the straight ones, and so you can see they're a little bit wider width. That seems to be, like I said, about the biggest difference. So if I hold them up, you can see that ever so slightly much. There's a tiny bit of extra there that, again, I don't know if the wash would shrink that, and I don't know what they might have done slightly different in the crotch, but they were bunching up a bit. But I can't really walk in them again without them rolled up because couldn't hardly move my legs and all that kind of stuff normally. yet. Although, like I said, I had worn the other ones. I had, not these, the other ones. I'd worn them less than these, but I'd worn them a bit. So, you know, once they kind of crinkle and crease and all that, I don't find it too, I don't know, heavy duty or whatever to, you know, walk normally once you kind of get used to them. But as you can see, I'm totally turning into an Oompa Loompa already in only 15 minutes, less than 15 minutes, because I wasn't even handling these jeans the whole time. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that, how much of this indigo will go in a standard wash. Like I said, that's why I want to do a follow-up video. Once I iron out some of these things and determine whether or not I'm going to return this or that and doing this and that. So that is what I have for you right now. Like I said, I don't have too, I mean, I can show you the bottom, like, you know, it's just a standard little one hem. Oh, the Selvedge, what people go nuts about. But it's only on the one side. And so everybody wants to show off this. That's why they roll them up. But this is way too long to roll up in a normal cuff. Like I said, these are even for me a little bit long to really do that and want to wear that much of a cuff. And again, these being bell bottoms, which they had one fit that was a bell bottom. I think it was out of stock, but don't quote me on that. But if you were looking for more of a slim fit that went to a bell bottom, that might have been what they were. I'm not positive. Once I saw Western cut or what, I was like, well, it's not going to matter because if they're this many long past where my feet are, then this is all getting cut off by a tailor anyway. So it's not going to matter how much they flare if they're 36-inch pants. I'm not that tall. And in fact, I don't know anybody I may know one guy who's almost that tall. Yeah. So a little bit on the ridiculous, although he might want to, cuff them and then he'd say they were too short, right? Yeah. So like I said, if you have, or as I say, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments. I'll get back to you, hopefully when I have more information. They are not ridiculously expensive if you're like into that sort of thing. I guess if you're buying one pair and you're just going to have them for a long, long time, that's one thing. But if you were trying to like make a week of workwear out of these, I would say that's a little steep. But again, the next nearest competitor that are, $50 cheaper are borderline unwearable. So, you get what you pay for, I guess. And then, how they compare to like the Levi's ones and such. Levi's has their Selvedge and line and thing like that now, but I don't think any of them are more than 14 ounce. In fact, they're probably all around 12. So if you're really into, the more durable vintage heritage, blah, 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 then, here it is. So yeah, as always, if you want to buy me a pizza or a coffee or whatever, I've activated that little app, and it's Saturday night, boycott Tinder and go find a person in a real way. Maybe, I don't know what time it is wherever you two are. And like I said, I'm going to cut this short, and it went on actually 5 minutes longer than I thought it should. So talk to you soon.